All right. We are back. But yes, you can see that there was something happened up there. Way up there. Sorry about that. Doing the best we can here. Need some more satellites up there. Thank you, thank you. Oh, and look, chat froze. All right. But yeah, way up there under commands, you can see that we had a little bit of, was that beta downtime? So let's keep going. That night just kicked Stitch, so now we're real time. Oh, and Pretzel, we can bring you back, Pretzel. There we go. So if value is null, not found. Otherwise, yeah. Okay. So we're gonna get that. We'll wait for that. We'll probably have to come up with some utility functions around this. Because some of these, it just, it's going to be the same thing over and over and over again. Right? It always returns. And it would be nice if it was returning an error or something. Hey, welcome back. And thank you for the raid, Toggobit. Enjoy your eating experience. I hope you have a pleasant one. And welcome, everybody. We are currently in the process of coming back from some sort of Starlink kerfluffle. Let's see, where's the website? Oh, here it is. So we are currently using Rust compiled into WebAssembly with Cloudflare workers. So we have a globally distributed website generation system. It's in its infancy, but you should be able to go to this page and see that, hey, this is a page. Right? And then if you go to /emoji, it just counts up, emoji count. And this number actually increments. It should be synchronous for all of us. So if I reload after a number of you actually go to the URL, then the number will increase for me. We're not actually persisting this to Cloudflare's key value system, but we are storing this value in a durable object in Cloudflare. Oh, the worker threw an exception. Oh, interesting. That's not doing it for me. I wonder if you're like in a different zone. This is good. This is a good test. So I just went to 8, now to 11. So it's working for some people, but it is their beta. So hopefully we can generate some logging that will help them with it. I wonder, can we Wrangler, what do they call it? Is it trace? Tail. It's tail. It should work globally. Basically, one instance of that durable object should get set up. This may take a few seconds. This has been quite a few seconds. All right, but while that gets set up, 17. Oh, lovely. 18. Yeah, I tried setting up a tail the other day. There was some other program you had to install, so I got that up and running. Who knows? Okay. Now, what we're going to look to do is actually change on the home page. We want to be able to read and write to the text. Let's see, 18. Oh, 38. Oh my goodness. So we're going to change this text here. We're going to try to retrieve that out of a KV store. That's what we're doing here. Yeah, and this little bit here, I'm not too happy with. KV always returns success and never returns error. So we should probably come up with some little wrapper for result JSON or JS value for that type. We can create some sort of trait that always does a dyn into on it, and maybe even converts it into like a some or a none, right? An option. Yeah. So there's our page text. Oh, we have to tell what the type is here. Let's say you're a string. Not satisfied. Oh, it's not implemented for string. How about JS string? There we go. So now we have that element. Can we go from JS string into another kind of string? Can we go from one to the other? Probably. Now, eventually, our worker here, our durable objects worker will get ejected. Right? And because we're not persisting the value in KV, this number will drop. So as long as we keep reloading this, that same instance, that same VM is still running. And it's not technically a VM. It's kind of a VM, right? It's basically just V8, the JavaScript engine from Chrome. Our little instance has 128 megabytes of RAM. So let's come back over here. So if we get the URL, now I don't know what the URL is here. I think I actually want the path. Path is going to be equal to mimeograph. What is it? Request. Aren't we using that in here? Oh no, we're using it elsewhere. But only types that support that can be implemented there. It's in our cargo.toml file? Yes, it is. Okay, so we can use that. So I don't want to do that way. Let's flip this around. Let's just import this. The trait should be there now. Get kind. Yeah, that's gone. Okay. It was supposed to pull that in. Did it not? Here. It says it's unused. Why why would that be unused? It's supposed to be able to call path. It's part of the trait that's implemented for that type. In fact, we implement it over in env request. It's right there. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's running on Cloudflare's servers, not the browser. Yep, we're definitely going to stick to server-side rendering. Absolutely. I want a faster experience. Because I think we can pre-compute a number of elements. And there's no sense in making everybody's browser recompute something that's already computable. So, no, I'm not sure why. That should have been working here. Let's see. Dot path. Perhaps you need to implement it. We did. Oh, we did it on env request. Oh, there we go. Now we need this as a string. Okay. Now we have a what? And that's being used? Hmm. Because technically we want the one off of cow. Oh, it's into owned. There we go. There's our string. So we get the string. Get that. Get our type back. Convert it. We should be able to respond with it there. And it's probably going to be null. Right? Let's see if we can get that working. Oh, it. It yeah, it freed itself. Works for you now. Oh, that's crazy. I wonder what happened. 74. Oh, it's taking a moment. Oh, what happened? No response data. That's different. Hey, there we go. All right, we'll have to figure that out later, but that is interesting. If they replicated across regions, yeah, it's been that should have been KV propagated already. And that's great. So it's actually moved over to your part of the world. And that might be one of the issues with our beta. Who knows? Hopefully. Oh, now prepared to stream logs. Look at that. Here, can somebody get it to fail? I don't think I have any logs running. Um, what else we had? Admin users. We just had a couple of pages. Login. Yeah, page not found. Well, this should take less than a minute. I believe they're using the same KV store. Oh, so you got the error. It's not showing up. That's unfortunate. Closing tail session. What if we just did Wrangler tail? Okay. We got the new going. Emoji. Oh, emoji count 1. Looks like it restarted. All right, the error says to log in and check the error logs. All right, where are the error logs for this? This is kind of a neat test. I wasn't expecting errors. Workers. 1,000 requests. Oh, 117 errors. Good. Okay, now where do we see those? Errors. Internal error, none. Script thrown errors. Okay. I would love to check the errors. Show me your errors. Come back out a little ways. Maybe under analytics? I was under workers before. Well, I've also got dark reader on. Normally it's very bright. And the colors actually go well together. But it's very minimalistic. Let's turn that back on. I mean, maybe it only works on production, but that seems weird. Being savage, good morning. I mean, the little message that Xenocron tossed into the Discord said, check the error logs for mimeograph-production.roosterbacchus.workers.dev, which is this here. But I don't know where to find them. Huh. Oh, morning. Yes. All right. Well, yeah, we didn't see any logs. Yeah. Yep. Today we are writing some Rust code, which is getting compiled down into WebAssembly, tossing that up into Cloudflare's Edge network on their workers. From their workers. Oh no no no. We Santa Cruz. We updated today. We updated today. Project. I don't know. I haven't touched that in a while. Well, thank you for the follow. And you know what? I'll bet Mitch got disconnected earlier. Gonna restart Mitch. Normally there's a little bit more bling, but we had a Starlink better than nothing moment. Okay. So we're going to get this running. Wrangler dev, env development. Oh, in order to preview a worker with KV namespaces, you must designate a preview ID in your configuration file for each KV namespace you'd like to preview. Okay. A preview ID, huh? I see. This, so you could have different like local test ones or something. For, oh, that's staging. No, we don't want to. Let's do this for development. Here we go. It's gonna be this. All right. Okay. Now we should get an error. Good. Oh, failed to execute get on durable object namespace. We weren't using a durable object namespace, were we? Pages. This is not a durable object namespace. Yeah, nothing else in there. And this is for slash. Yeah, and that's fine. Parameter 1 is not of type durable object ID. Oh, yes. Fine. You are correct. I had the JS name. I copy pasted. It's my fault. Again. This script will never generate a response. A hanging promise was canceled. This means this happens when the worker runtime is waiting for a promise. Oh, interesting that they could detect that it will never return. Hey, 715209, how you doing? I wonder. Okay, that threw an exception. So where did our promise go sideways here? I thought we awaited for this. It's going to return none. Does it not like the none or the null here? Huh. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Mitch is having a bad day. Mitch got caught up in the little Starlink downtime earlier, so I restarted it. All right. Well, let's go ahead and set some sort of value in there. Okay, now we're in mimeograph Wrangler. KV. What was it called? KV namespace. Oh, there we go. Yeah, this is a good one. All right, so KV key. I can list. The following required arguments were not provided. They don't look required. Oh, it's one of them. So either the binding or the namespace ID. Which I don't know. This one. Oh, we give it binding. We could just give it pages. That'll work. Okay, so nothing in there. Algol, good morning. Plain text logs are the way to go. All right. So with this, we should be able to put a value, put for slash. Does anybody see where my double quotes are not matched? I mean, that slash doesn't. Huh. Oh, there we go. Ah, okay, so we have to do the put first. Success. Okay, now let's do a list. Okay. And if we do a get, all right, that seems to work. Now, given that we've just populated that key, can we come back here, reload that? Oh, we're still getting errors. Someone accidentally adding a random keyboard input to a certificate. Oh my goodness. That sounds horrible. That sounds horrible. I would do that, 715209. I would absolutely do that. All right, so basically it's saying that the promise can never, it's the same problem. Let's go back into lib. Here's home. It's saying that this never finishes. I think. I mean, I suspect it's this code. And testing this out, we're also testing this, trying to figure out, is this something we want to build on? So far, the development experience has been a little bit more comfortable than like the AWS Lambdas with Rust. Compiling's been quick. All right. So that I think is the only thing we really changed in here. Everything else should have resolved. I'm gonna move that. There. All right, Wrangler. Good morning, Mr. Sunday. How you doing? Avoid V first. V is for 7, huh? We still got the internal server error. Why? I mean, path isn't used. This awaits the write. But this was working earlier. You can see that most of this is actually commented out. I mean, this here, it better not be that. Imagine if it's that. What's wrong with this? Huh. We're doing dev for environment, the dev environment. So, all right. That seems to be going on. Oh, now we got page not found. Was it just. Okay, so we got the AOU. Right, that's there. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Tommy Luco. Okay, let's enable those again. Why is it building these over and over again? It shouldn't have to. Okay, so there must have just been something going on last time. And then if we put this back, going to cargo build. Because it used to go a little faster. Interesting. Actually, I want to do a search on that. Well, what is it actually building? Where'd it go? There it is. Oh, so it did. Okay. We didn't change any code. Just when it initialized, it had some sort of problem. So there we're pulling some values out of KV. Morning, Commander Thrashton. So let's put some other value in there. Okay. Reload. Ah, there we go. Okay. So we can get that from the KV store. This is really gross, though. For like 5 lines, 6 lines to be able to get something out of there. Really, it should be. We should have some sort of let foo. And foo is going to be an option to some sort of type, which is going to be our value. And we would do an env.pages get, would give it the path and the kind, right? Now that's going to return a promise, a JavaScript promise. So we could have some sort of wrapper function. I'm just going to call it load for a moment. We could await that. Or we could create some sort of trait and implement that for those types. Still using load just because it works. And that could do the rest of this. The difficult piece here is going to be that this is a JS feature and there's no extra type information on this. It's not like we can implement this for just the KV future. Just create an async function. Yeah, that was kind of the first idea, right? With the load that wraps it. Just pass this in. Or we could just, yeah, create some wraparound pages altogether. Let's go back into lib. This mod, here we go. Because what if we change that? Just tossing some of these around. Pages fetch path. Oh, wait. And this would be an option. Currently to a string or a JS string. Eventually, we're going to change that to be a different type. All right. Oh, we have to pass in the environment too. Yeah, we need that. I mean, this looks all right. We need to be able to have the return type information. There's only 4 types that we actually support here. We should probably encode it in the function signature. It's either that or we do um, tagged types. Just add a T. Yeah, we could do that, but then, okay, let's go down that. Function fetch T. No, we need to constrain T's to only support 4 types. There are only 4 possible types that may be in there, which means that we need pub trait can fetch, right? And then we have to impl can fetch for a string. Impl can fetch for CF readable stream, right? Because there's only 4. What are the other 2? Or are there only 3? That was in here. KV. Get. Yeah, array buffer and JSON. Yeah, and this one I think we're going to avoid because it's not like we're going to do anything with a JSON string, so I'm not going to do that one. But we'll also have array buffer. where T is can fetch. Right? Oh, this needs an empty block there. Nope, they don't. So we just need some sort of marker trait. And then we get the environment, env. This is going to be a CF env. And the path. Yeah, stir something. Option T there. Let's drop this inside. Okay. This needs to be async pub async function. Let's just get the future object, pages get path. Yes, and now we have to tell it what the type is. Does it even need? Oh, oops. This is going to be a readable stream done into. Oh, it's just called stream. Yeah, per the docs. This shouldn't be on self, should it? What do we have here? Make it a const? Make what a const? Sorry, I missed something. Can you have const functions and traits? This should work. Okay. So then we have the kind. That gives us the future. Future there. Let's get rid of the big red blob. With a little to-do down there. Okay. Oops, gonna import some of these. It does want a string. Let's just, thank you, JavaScript. It never fails. Hey, thank you for the follow. Champignon. All right, so we need that in scope. You know what? I'm not going to bloat this. I'm just going to do an. I don't know. I just don't want the text in the bloating the WASM file. No. Oh, you know what? It might not be a JS string, huh? It might actually be null. The lichen? The lichen joke. Oh, yes, we've. Where'd it go? Um, what do we got? A friend of mine went bald years ago, but still carries around an old comb. He just can't part with it. That's not a lichen joke. Oh, this one. There's the. Why was the moss afraid of the full moon? It was a lycanthrope. Yes. Why was the moss afraid of the full moon? It was a lycanthrope. I like that one. That's right. Okay. I would have rather they be const than be right. Well, dine into performs a dynamic cast. Check to runtime. Okay, this method will return error self. Okay, so basically, we don't want to do an unwrap here because if this, let's do a match here. I'm gonna match this. No, that's gross. Let's dine into T. What's missing match arms? Good. Okay, we either have okay or error. If it's error, let's add a comment here. If the cast fails, it's because the key doesn't exist. And we will return none. On success, we'll return some value. Oh, what is this? Oh, jcast. So it needs to be can fetch and jcast. JS string. Okay. That works. Just use OK. Oh yes, on results, right? Oh, I forget about those things. Fantastic idea. Wait. Oh, it's on results. I was searching for option. Converts the result. Yes. Discarding any errors, if any. Oh, that's lovely. Let's at least keep our comment. All right, let's go back to lib. JS string. Hey, thank you for the follow. Rajan, thank you. Okay, so we have JS string and string from page text. Ah, now it's option. So now comes the fun part. We could actually return some sort of error instead. Ooh, a joke. What did the dead person say? Nothing, because they're dead. See, okay. Just going to do that for a moment because I want to have the. Oh, there's. We'll map it first via string from. Okay. So now if we have a page that doesn't exist, we'll just get empty string. Otherwise, we get something. Okay. We're going to have to add globs to this eventually. All right. So we've got our page text, got our little header, our little title. After this, though, now let's make sure this works. If this works, or is it here? Okay, it still works. So pull that value out of the environment. Testing some KV change. Success. Reload. Still commander. Reload. Still commander. Reload. 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 Take up to 60 seconds. I get that. Just Thought it would be like between environments. All right, but that did take. Okay. And the next bit I think is a very interesting one. Let's get this committed. Well, let's check. It's a good question. I think it's just over 50 kilobytes. MIDI waves. Thank you for the follow. Oh, come on, Mitch. Come on. You got your confetti all over the screen, Mitch. There you go. All right. So yeah, it's 54 kilobytes. And this includes the template engine for horror show. This also includes um, yeah, everything else that you've seen. The durable object interface, KV, and I imagine they compress it. Okay. So now for the interesting bit. What if we wanted to return, say, a 404 if the key value bits aren't found? How would we do that? Could we throw an error changing the status? But what if we wanted to redirect instead? Like, oh, this isn't found. Redirect you. Ideally, we'd be able to return some sort of future from this. So what if instead of a result CF, we ended up returning a future? That should work with the current router. That should work. We can't do an async function, but we can return a future. And if we return a future, then down here, we would get some sort of future. We get like an okay, and then future here, and then we'd have to await it down here, which is okay. And this at this entry point, we're actually async here, so we could await it here. Here, we're going to comment out a lot of this, so I don't have to update every single one of these. I mean, they're not all doing that much. Okay. Just gonna have home here. I'm just using the home route as like a hand wavy route, at the moment. I'm actually treating this as kind of like the catch-all. This is the pages route, I think, more accurately. Oh no, by all means, please ask questions, comment, etc. So ideally, this would be anything left over, right? Which we could actually handle. We could handle this in a different way, um, because in fact, in fact, we could wire this up if nothing matched. Basically, we come through this whole thing, we say, hey, nothing matched, call this function. Because all of our other routes, right, the getter, the get, the put, etc., and we'll still need to manage those. Just trying to figure out how I would want these changes to happen. Yeah, kind of like a catch-all we could do. What if we had here? We're just going to come up with some routes here. Um, right. What if we had like the home? Oh, no, no, no. First example, slash, right? Second example, have like about. Third, contact, right? Whatever it is. Some little pamphlet website. If you were editing the home page, the slash, you would expect that when you edit, it actually posts back to the same page, right? So we probably want some sort of like post catch-all, get catch-all, delete catch-all, put catch-all, etc. What the science? So I think we need to beef up our router a bit because our router is very, very precise. So if we weren't using a catch-all, but we instead had some other, I guess it still is a catch-all, right? Because our router could end up looking like pages get, pages put, pages post, pages delete. How does Russ feel by now? Oh man, I'm loving it. We are actually, this stream should bring us up to where are we at? I keep track via the Twitch bits. About 1,600 hours programming in Rust. I love it. So we do something like this where we have, those endpoints. I guess the problem there is that we would want to be able to say this didn't match a page. Keep trying to match. Well, we can do that later too. Yeah, I treat programming languages like learning a spoken language. And then you have to practice, 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 practice if you want to get good at it. If you want it to feel natural, right? And I'm starting to be fluent in Rust. What is the router macro? That is great. Mimeograph router. I know this is something very young. Some pieces of this are absolutely going to be open source. Some parts aren't, and that's mostly because it's easier to give than take away. So if I made it all open source and then wanted to do something with it, it's harder to take away. But basically, all of the router that we're currently using, that's the whole thing's open source. But it's very minimalistic and it's designed to be small and just to work. I looked for other routers and didn't see a good one. Some weren't WASM compatible. I tried one. Most were tied to some sort of engine. Oh yeah, by all means. The Rust community has been fantastic. You get this, Aaron? You get this error when going to the mimeograph crate? Oh, that's strange. Does anybody else have the error? The same error? I mean, I am logged in, and this is one that we published, but my crates, we got the mimeograph router, plus its cogen bits, um, mimeograph request, which if you want to use, oh, the repo link. Oh, hold on, hold on. Let me make sure. Thank you. Thank you for clicking on that. I created this yesterday after reorganizing a whole bunch of this, and that's taking a long minute. Well, settings. Oh, no, that one should be public. Let me just make sure. This is the one I'm thinking about. Yeah, got the licenses in there and everything. Now that one should be public. Thank you for clicking on that. All right. It should be available now. Great. Settings. Okay. I'm just gonna double check some of the other ones. This one's a private one. Ooh, router helpers should not be private either. That one's public. Okay. That's better. And this is basically the smallest version of our project. So if you want to use basically Cloudflare with durable objects and Rust, etc., their format changed, and we had some help figuring it out. We and wanted to give that back, so that's also available. So basically, the smallest version of our project. So let's come back here. Excuse me. No. Yeah, I don't know about this. I'm probably gonna have to think about this, think about how we want to do that. Because I could see having some sort of match, you know, like that. Forget, post, put, yada, yada, yada. And we could do that. We could have that be a match. However, for pages, we want to kind of pre-qualify it, right? Pages want to know. Pages may want to return a value. Because this might say, hey, this doesn't exist. Keep trying to match this. Which should be a kind of a heavy check, right? Go check the KV store. Come back. Return none. This is going to be part of some Rust CMS. A bit, yeah. It's I keep calling it serverless WordPress, right? Like a WordPress alternative. I'm calling it mimeograph. Get it? WordPress mimeograph? Yeah. So, um, let's plan out what we're going to do next time. I would definitely like to explore because, yeah, I've got to go. Got 10 minutes or so. But I think getting the pages, like this sort of setup working, where these could actually match at the very end, that would be nice. I don't know if we need these to be able to return null, or basically a none, if they don't match. Because I could see pages get, let's say you had multiple matchers like that. So you had, let's say, a pages get, right? And this has a matcher set up like that, right? I think we need actually more macros for this. It might not work. And then this, if it failed, the lookup for the fetch, right? If that came back as none, we could return none. But then we're dealing with promises here. So that's not going to work. We could not do that because this would all have to be awaited. And you can't await it here. Technically, you kind of can, but I don't want to set it up that way for the generic router. Because the solution to making it await here would be to have some sort of JavaScript spawn, right? Like the spawn local. And we'll wait until that's done. And we could get the return value out of this, I think. Runs a future on the current thread. Okay. But I don't want to influence a router via mimeograph like that. So maybe we just don't have that sort of ability. That'd be okay. But I do like the idea of the star star, right? Match anything under here, right? Bar Baz. So we could match it with other little tokens at the end, like slash update, right? So I think we'll do that next time. Update the router to be able to match like some sort of glob, some sort of basic glob like that. And really it's just a fancy token. So I'm going to undo. So we'll do that next time. To do convert headers, yeah. Map pages get to get star slash something like that. They also get to run from top to bottom. Oh shoot, that messes those up. Are we gonna have plugins? See, that's a good question. I want to keep it minimal, very, very minimal. And I don't want it to be too opinionated. So you can bundle things up and pass pieces through. And all you have to do is implement request, and that'll come through. Um, I I haven't decided on plugins yet. Right? We're trying to find the WASM size bloat performance. Right? Just keep it small, right? Precise. Make it so that it's done, right? Get it to the point where there's nothing else that needs to be added to it. It's minimal, clean, simple. I could probably see like people would want to have some sort of like DB or something like that. So you could pass that in. But you can wrap the way that request works is that you could create your own struct, kind of like we did here, to be able to pass the env through. But you could do the same thing with a DB pool, right? I imagine that we could do a little bit more with a request for middleware. Hmm. Interesting thoughts. Interesting. All right, y'all. We're gonna do some rating. Ooh, am I the only Rust streamer this morning? Oh, I like these songs. Who do we got going today? You guys got any suggestions? Let's see, we got Tej, Classy Cat. Who else? Oh, what is the graph thingy in the right? I'm on Starlink. So this is the statistics panel from Starlink. All right. Well, I'm gonna pick somebody at random. Let's see what's Classy Cat doing today. Let's see, JavaScript, TypeScript, Electron. Making an automated YouTube compilation bot. Oh yeah, you couldn't see the details. Yeah, I kind of squished it to make it small. But signal to noise ratios on the bottom, ping successes on the very top, and then there's upload and download. I think my mouse is next to download, and then here, it's next to upload. Small latency for satellite. Yes, because they're at about 550 kilometers up, so it's actually very small latency. All right, so we're gonna raid Classy Cat. How much is Starlink per month? Yeah. So for me, it's $100 a month. I paid $500 for the equipment. Plus I had to mount it, etc. So that was extra. Um, but before this, I was paying $180 a month for a 4 megabit connection, um, upstream and downstream. So, I mean, it's half as much and much, much faster. So, I'm going to take off, get some stuff done, all that. It's good having you with us. So, until next time, y'all. Bye bye.